All right, the next one will be operations with Pandas. So let's jump into that section. Again, you're gonna click download, download to your computer. You're gonna go to Collab. You're gonna go to File, Upload Notebook, and you're gonna find that file that you just downloaded. And you're gonna open it up. You're gonna upload it to the notebook, and then you're gonna work on it. Okay. So in this case, we're gonna talk about different operations that and attributes and method that applies to Pandas that we're gonna be able to find very useful. So we're gonna do import Pandas as PD, and then what we're gonna do is we're gonna create this data frame object, so pd.dataframe, and we're gonna have this column 1 1 2 3 4, column 2, four, 5, 6, 7, or actually, let's keep this as 4. And then we have column 3, and we have A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, and then X, Y, Z. And let's see. No problems, good. So now let's display our, so here is one very useful method for a data frame, and that is called head. The head allows you to see the top elements, usually the top 5 elements of your data frame. We can do tail, and that gives you the last ones as well. So there's not that big, so you're not gonna be able to see anything different. But it gives you the last or the first elements or rows of your data frame. So very useful. We can check. There's a tool. A method called unique. So we can apply a method on a, let's do column 2, and see the unique values of your column. So this is going to display all the unique values, which is good. It's very beneficial to see what are the unique values. We can also do non-unique, the number of unique values. So we can do column, and then instead of unique, we say n unique, and this is going to return the number of unique values, the number, not the what are the values, but the number of unique values. And then we can do value count. So let me just copy this. And we can do dot value count. So what this is going to do is going to count how many of these distinct values appear on your column. So as we can see, 44 appears twice. So you can see that it's going to have a value of 2. 55 appears once. 66 appears once. So it tells you, it counts how many times that each value appear in your column. And then we can do select. We can select a special value from your data frame. So we can do new df equals df. So this is my data frame, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply some conditional statements on my data frame. And so that will be column 1. Oops, column 1. I'll do column 1 greater than 2. So I'm going to look for all the values on my column 1 whose values are greater than 2, and whose values on column 2 are equal to 44. So what this is going to do is going to display the values of my data frame that satisfies these two conditions. And so if we run my new df, we're going to be able to see there's only one column satisfies those two conditions, where the values of the column number 1 is greater than 2, and the value of my columns are column 2 is equal to 44. We can see that. This is column 1, so these guys are greater than 2. This is greater than 2, greater than 2, greater than 2. And then the only one that has my column equal to 2, equal to 44 on my column 2 is the last row. So that's what it's returning. All right, we can create functions here. Df times 2 of x, and I can return x times 2. Remember that from our review. And what we can do is we can use this function to implement it to our data frame, to create a data frame values. So I'm going to apply. So if I want to apply a function to my values on my column, I have to use the word apply. So what is this going to do is going to take every single value of my column 1, plug it into my function, and return a value, and that value is going to be stored in my column. So you can see now 2, 4, 6, 8. Every single element on my column 1 was multiplied by 2. We can also do the length. So I can copy, and I'm going to do length, apply the len. So what this is going to do is going to count the size of the number, and is going to put that value, save it into my column 3. So column 3, the size of every string is 3. 3, size 3, length 3, length 3, length 3. So that's going to be set to my column 3. I can also do a sum. So if I do dot sum, it will add all the elements on my column 1. I can also delete values. So I can do a delete of my data frame column 1. And so now you can see that it's no longer part of my data frame. So I can remove any column that I want if I want to, if that's taking a while. All right, so it took a while, so I just now it's running. You can see that it's no longer there. We can check what are the columns now of our data frame by just doing df.column. So this is an attribute, not a method. Again, it's an attribute because it doesn't have parentheses. And we can check the index values of my data frame. It starts at 0, ends at 4, and it skips one step at a time. And then we can do again df just to check our values. And then we can sort any value that we want by doing df dot sort values by column 2. So I'm gonna sort my values, my data frame, based on my column 2. So however my numbers were on my column, they're not gonna be sorted out by that. I can't check if any of the values is null. So I can do df dot is null, and then as you can see, none of the values are null, so that's good. And let's say I drop the rows with the values NA, right? So I can do df dot drop. Remember that one? I can drop any null values. As you can see, we don't have any null values, so nothing's gonna happen. So that's good. And what we're gonna do now is we're gonna fill in any null values that we have. So let's import numpy as np and create this data frame pd dot data frame, and we're gonna create this columns. I'm just gonna grab it from the top. I'm gonna grab it from the top since we already created it here. I'm just gonna grab this. I'm gonna adjust it a little bit. I'm gonna put some np there. np dot nan null, and I'm gonna replace this 44 with np dot null, and then the other one I'm gonna leave it as it is. I'm gonna check my df dot head just to see. Oops, I'm gonna run that one first. All right, so you can see that I have in column 2 I have a null, column 1 I have a null down here, and that one doesn't have any null. So what we're gonna do again, we're gonna fill it in just the way we did it before by doing a df dot fill na, and we're gonna call it fill. And then yeah, and so let's say now that we have another type of data. We're gonna have a, and then it's going to be faux. I'm just gonna have this comma, copy, copy, and then copy, copy, copy. I'm just gonna change this to bar, bar, bar. It's easier if I do that. And then I'm gonna do the same thing with the next one. So that would be B. And then C and D. All right, so we're gonna have B, C, D, and I'm gonna have this as 1, 1, 2, oops, 2, 1, 1, and then x, y, x, y, and x, y. We're gonna have x, y, x, y, x, y. And then here I'm just gonna have numbers. 1, 3, 2, 5, 4, 1. And so that's my data. And now let's see what we get here. But let's turn that into a data frame by doing, seems like I'm missing something. Nope. df equals pd data frame. And I'm going to turn that dictionary into a data frame. Let's see. There you go. Good. What we're going to do here is we're going to turn it into a multi-level columns and rows. So notice that we have bar and faux, right? As two different categories, and each one has 1 and 2. Yeah. All right. So what we're going to do here is we're going to change the structure of the table by making it so that the faux and bar will be rows. 1 and 2 will also be rows, but subsections of the faux and the bar. So we're going to use what we call a pivot table. And this is how we can structure. We can say the values will be D, and the index will be based on A and B. The columns will be all a subsection of C. Let's see. Pivot table. Oh, it's because everything got disconnected. You can see. So I have to run everything